Let us try to understand some important terms which are related with this thermal radiation. Let us discuss these terms one by one. Now the first one, which is very important, is coefficient of absorption. It is also called as absorptive power or absorptivity. So here coefficient of absorption is nothing but the ratio of amount of heat absorbed to the total quantity of heat incident upon it. Similarly, if we are going to talk about coefficient of reflection, it is defined as the ratio of amount of radiant energy which is reflected to the total energy incident on the object. And when we talk about coefficient of transmission, it is nothing but the ratio of amount of radiant energy transmitted to the total energy incident on from that particular object. Now, when we talk about the substances, as we said that whenever energy is incident on the object, some amount of energy is absorbed, some is reflected, and some is transmitted. Now, at the same time, there are two main categories of substances. One is the substance through which heat radiations can pass, and the other is the substances which are largely opaque to the thermal radiations. Opaque means they do not transmit the heat radiations. So, depending upon whether the object allows the heat radiations to pass through it or the object is opaque to the thermal radiation, they are categorized into two: dithermalous and athermalous objects. So when you talk about dithermalous object, it is the object which is neither a good absorber nor a good reflector. That means it allows all the heat radiations which are incident on it to pass through. And when you talk about the other category, these are largely opaque to the thermal radiations. That is, they do not transmit the heat radiations incident on them. Now here are the examples which are given for both the categories. When you talk about the substances which allows the heat radiations to pass, we can have glass or sodium chloride or oxygen, hydrogen, etc. And when we talk about the category of substances which do not transmit heat radiations incident upon them, we have water, wood, iron, copper, etc. Now, let us try to talk about black body, or more precisely perfectly black body. So what is perfectly black body? Perfectly black body is the one which absorbs all the incident radiations falling on it. Now, as the perfectly black body is perfect absorber, it is also going to be a perfect radiator. When a perfectly black body is heated to high temperature, it emits radiations of all possible wavelengths. Now actually no such black body exists in nature. Okay, so we assume that a surface which is coated with lamp black, which absorbs almost 98% of the energy which is incident on it, as a perfectly black body. A good black body, it can be made simply by punching a small hole in the lid of a closed empty tin, and this hole looks almost black, and that's why we give the name as perfectly black body. Let us try to understand more about Ferri's black body. Now the simplest and most commonly used black body, it was first designed by Ferri, and hence the name given as Ferri's black body. Now here you can see the diagrammatic presentation of Ferri's black body. As you can see here in the diagram, it consists of a hollow double-walled metallic sphere having a small opening which is indicated here, this small opening on one side, and then it has a conical projection which is exactly opposite to the small opening. Now inside of this sphere, it is coated with lamp black. As we discussed earlier, the lamp black, it helps to absorb almost 98% of the energy incident on it, and hence this body internally it is coated with lamp black. Now any radiation which is entering the hole, it is reflected many times at the inner walls of the sphere. As you can see here in the diagram, the radiations which are entering through the hole in the body, it first falls on the conical projection, and then it gets reflected many a times at the inner walls of the sphere. Now after a few reflection, almost entire radiation is absorbed. Remember, at every point when the radiation is going to be reflected, at every point some amount of the energy will be absorbed. So when it suffers multiple reflections, almost entire radiation is absorbed, and this conical projection which we are able to see here in the diagram, it does not permit any direct reflection. Okay, so when this black body, this is called as Ferri's black body, and when this black body is heated, the radiation will come out from the hole, and therefore the hole now acts as a black body radiator. Okay, it is sometimes called as cavity radiation. So remember that when you talk about a perfectly black body, it is going to have coefficient of absorption as maximum, which is indicated with A is equal to 1, as we have seen in the earlier slide. Now let us try to understand some important terminology radiation. Now, what is the mathematical statement of Kirchhoff's law, or what is the actual statement of Kirchhoff's law? Let us try to understand. So, Kirchhoff's law states that at a given temperature, the ratio of emissive power to the coefficient of absorption of a body is equal to the emissive power of perfectly black body at the same temperature for all wavelengths. So according to this particular law, as I said, the ratio of emissive power to the absorptive power for radiation for all wavelengths is going to remain same for all bodies at the same temperature, and that will be equal to the emissive power of perfectly black body at the same temperature. Let us try to understand the theoretical proof for this Kirchhoff's law. Here is the diagram. Now you can see that we have any ordinary body which is denoted by A, and then we have a perfectly black body B, and these are kept in a perfectly insulated box, or it is called as a temperature enclosure, that is, it avoids exchange of heat. Now let R be the emissive power of body A, that is ordinary body, and RB be the emissive power of a perfectly black body, and let small a be the coefficient of absorption of ordinary body. Now if we are saying, or if we are considering that Q is the quantity of radiant heat which is incident on each body, and QA is the quantity of heat absorbed by the ordinary body, then as per the definition of coefficient of absorption, we can write coefficient of absorption is what? It is A is equal to QA upon A, that is amount of heat absorbed, ratio of amount of heat absorbed to the actual heat incident upon. So we can write this as QA, coefficient of absorption, is equal to A into Q. Now as the temperature of the ordinary body and black body is going to remain same, both these bodies, they must emit same amount as they are going to absorb in the similar time, that is in unit time. So this emissive power is the quantity of heat radiated from unit area and unit time. So we can write that quantity of radiant heat absorbed by the normal body is equal to the quantity of heat emitted by the object. So we can write, instead of R, we can write QA is equal to capital R, that is emissive power. Now if we are going to talk about perfectly black body, here we can write QB or Q is equal to RB. Now if we consider this particular equation, or if we carry out division of these two terms, that is QA is equal to R and Q is equal to RB, if we divide these equations, then we can write A is equal to R upon RB, or if we rearrange the terms, we can write this as R upon A is equal to RB. So R upon RB, that is ratio of R to RB, that is emissive power of normal object to the emissive power of black body, that is nothing but coefficient of emission. So we can write A is equal to R upon RB and R upon RB is equal to E. So we can write A is equal to E, that is coefficient of absorption is equal to coefficient of emission. Okay. Now after the discussion of the Kirchhoff's law, we are going to talk about some spectral distribution of black body. Okay. Now earlier we have talked about what black body is and how Ferri's black body can be actually constructed. Now here we are going to talk about the energy distribution of a black body. Now this graph actually illustrates the way in which the energy radiated by a black body is distributed among the various wavelengths. Okay, now if you look at this graphical distribution or the spectral distribution of energy, we can conclude that the total energy emitted by the black body, it increases rapidly with increase in temperature for any wavelength. If you just concentrate on these curves and try to understand what I am trying to tell you, you will be able to get the things clearly, that the total here on y axis we have radiant power, and then on x axis we have the wavelengths, and here the different temperatures are shown to you. So the total energy emitted by the black body, it increases rapidly with increase in temperature. Now at a particular temperature, with increase in the wavelength, as the wavelength goes on increasing at a particular temperature, the energy first it increases, it reaches to maximum, and then it starts decreasing. You can see it from the bell curves clearly, that with increase in wavelength, the energy it first increases, it reaches to maximum value, and then it starts decreasing. Now this means that for a given temperature, the radiant energy emitted by the black body is maximum for a particular wavelength, and this wavelength is indicated by lambda max, as you can see here in the graph. Now as the temperature of the body increases, the peak of the curve, as you can see here, this peak it shifts towards the shorter wavelength, that is the maximum energy that is obtained at the small values of the wavelength. And this particular actual relationship between the temperature and the maximum wavelength, that was first given by scientist Wiens, and hence that particular statement is known as Wiens displacement law. Now what this Wiens displacement law states, we will be seeing it afterwards. Let us first have again a brief look about the spectral distribution of the black body as it is shown here. So at a given temperature, energy is not uniformly distributed. Then the radiant power emitted initially, it increases with increase in wavelength, it reaches to maximum, and then it starts decreasing. This maximum wavelength is indicated by lambda max. Okay, then the peak of the curve, it shifts towards the shorter wavelength, and at high temperatures the radiant power or the total energy per unit time, per unit area, that is the area under the curve that we can calculate, it goes on decreasing. So these are the brief discussion about the spectral distribution. Now as I say, we have to talk about the Wiens displacement law when we were talking about the distribution or spectral distribution of a black body. We talked about the relationship between the temperature and the maximum wavelength, that is lambda m and t. Now it is observed that the wavelength for which the emissive power of black body is maximum, it is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature, and this particular relationship between the maximum wavelength and the temperature, it is known as Wiens displacement law. So the energy distribution in the spectrum of a black body radiation, it shows that for any temperature there is one wavelength, that is lambda max, for which the energy emitted by the black body is going to be maximum, and this maximum wavelength is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature of the black body, which mathematically we can write as lambda max is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature. If you replace this proportionality sign with a constant, we can write lambda max is equal to B upon T, or we can write lambda max into T is equal to B, and that is Wien's displacement law, or that is a constant. Okay, now value of this constant, you can find it out, this value of constant, by performing experiments, and it comes out to be 2.9 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, and this, as I said, is known as Wien's displacement law. Okay, so what this Wien's displacement law actually tells us, that whenever body is heated to ordinary temperature, the maximum emission of energy corresponding to the longer wavelength. But as the temperature of the body is increased, or as the temperature of the body is raised, the radiation of shorter and shorter wavelengths are also emitted. Now this law, it illustrates the observation that when the iron is heated, you have seen, when you heat the iron, it first becomes light red, then it becomes dark red, and then the next radiation that you can see is it becomes yellow, and ultimately it becomes white. So this is a practical application or illustration of Wien's displacement law that we see. Then we are going to talk about the next one, that is Stephen's-Boltzmann law of radiation. Now, the rate at which the object emits radiant energy, it depends strongly on the temperature, and it also depends on the surface energy, the surface area, and the nature of the surface. Now, according to this particular law, that is according to Stephen's law, the rate of emission of radiant energy per unit area, or the power radiated per unit area of a perfectly black body, it is directly proportional to fourth power of its absolute temperature. So it is given by R is proportional to T raised to 4, where T is the absolute temperature. If you replace this proportionality sign with constant sigma, then you can write R is equal to sigma into T raised to 4, where sigma is Stephen's constant. Here the values and the dimensions of this Stephen's constant are given to you. Also we can write the Stephen's law as R is equal to A T into sigma raised to 4. So sometimes in some books they include a factor epsilon, and this factor depends on the nature of the surface of the body. Okay, this factor is a dimensionless number, and the value of that, it ranges from 0 to 1. So when we are going to talk about a perfectly black body, this epsilon is equal to 1. So this is what the Stephen's-Boltzmann law of radiation is. Now if Q is the amount of radiant energy emitted in time t by the perfectly black body whose surface area is A, and it is going to radiate the energy at temperature T, then we can write Q upon AT is equal to sigma T raised to 4. Q upon AT is nothing but the radiant energy emitted. For a body which is not a black body, that is, if it is not a perfectly black body, then the energy radiated per unit area per unit time, it is still proportional to fourth power of the temperature, but it will be less than that of the ordinary body. Okay, so the factor which I was talking about is E, and as I said, sometimes you can call it as E, or sometimes you can call it as, some books So if the perfectly black body is having absolute temperature T and it is kept in a surrounding which is at a lower temperature, then the radiant energy per unit area per unit time is given by sigma T raised to 4. So the net loss of energy by perfectly black body will be given by sigma T raised to 4 minus sigma T0 raised to 4. So sigma you can take it out common, and the net loss of energy per unit time per unit area will be given by this particular equation.